It's April 10th, 2019, and this is your 5 minutes of crypto. So, Bitcoin is currently sitting at $5,401.83. That's actually up 3.40% on the day. As I was saying in my episode yesterday, that if we can cross that $5,300 resistance that Bitcoin was hitting for the past week or so, we'll see this quick uptrend, quick jump in price. And that's exactly what's happening today. So as soon as we cross $5,300, we saw this, surge in the price that you can see even on the graph here, that, quick uptick there. And as like you can still see that, even on the 7-day graph, you can see that, overall Bitcoin is on this uptrend. So I guess now that we've crossed $5,300, hopefully it'll hit somewhere closer to 6K and we'll reach higher highs of 2019. And similarly, Ethereum is also up 1%, although not as much. It's up to $179.23. So it still hasn't broken that $180 barrier, but I'm sure we're getting close. And you can see its chart as well is showing this nice uptrend over the past week. So let's take a look at what's making news in the cryptocurrency space today. And I want to start with this article here that says 47% of traders hold more than 60% of their portfolio in altcoins. So there was actually a Twitter survey by this guy, Don Alt. I guess he has alt in his name, so he's more of a altcoin trader. So this might be a little biased, although it's on Twitter. So I'm not sure because he never added any hashtags. So that means he was surveying mostly his followers because people without hashtags, other people wouldn't see this tweet. So if you look here, you can see of the people that replied, it was 10,661 votes, which is a significant number. So this might be somewhat accurate, but overall, 47% of people hold 60 to 100% of their portfolio is altcoins, and 17%, 40 to 60% of their portfolio is altcoins. That means many, many, many people are holding very little Bitcoin in their portfolio. And I guess, for this mark, for the 40 to 60%, I guess that's true for many people because even me, I don't hold more than 50% of my portfolio as Bitcoin. I do have it diversified into several altcoins. So I think that might be true for several other users. And if you guys have a different opinion on this, feel free to comment below. The other thing here is that even though Bitcoin actually gained 25% over the past few days since April 1st, its dominance hasn't actually increased past that 50% that it's been hovering around. So we can take a look at that on coinmarketcap.com. So if I go back here and go to the market cap, if you click this, you can go down to the last graph here. This graph actually shows the dominance of Bitcoin versus altcoins over time. So you can see here in January 2017, Bitcoin was 86%. And today, since July 2018, that's been hovering around 50%. And on today, April 10th, it's at 51.27%. So the dominance hasn't actually risen since Bitcoin has risen. That also means that, altcoins are also trending upwards along with Bitcoin. So it's not just Bitcoin rising. Okay, so the next article I want to take a look at is this one here, which is a report by Cointelegraph.com. It says fewer ICOs have raised funds in Q1 2019 than in Q4 2018. So it's actually showing that there was less ICO projects overall, and maybe that's the reason why there's less funds raised. But the percentage of them that actually raised funds is almost identical to the same percentage that raised funds in 2018. Um, so you can see in Q1 of 2019, 328 ICO projects were created, and only 107 of those actually raised funds. Meanwhile, in December 2018, or Q4 2018, 585 ICOs were created, and 207 of them managed to raise funds. So even though the percentage that raised are almost similar, um, there was less overall ICOs in Q1 2019. I guess the trend is slowly dying, and it's trending more towards IEOs now. That's what's been recently trending, especially because of Binance and their launchpad. Um, so the next thing I want to go into is there's one article here about Quadriga CX, and I'm gonna keep this short because I'm running out of time. But Quadriga CX actually finally declared bankruptcy. So for those of you that don't know, Quadriga CX was a Canadian exchange that was basically one of the very popular exchanges in Canada, and a lot of investors are actually using that as their source to buy Bitcoin. So that exchange, their CEO went on a trip to India and apparently passed away there, and he was the only person holding the private keys for that exchange, and so many users lost their fund. And I think even though this happened, like even though the exchange stated that the CEO died, I think that was a scam, and he basically took everyone's money and ran away. So I can't stress this enough. All of you that are in the cryptocurrency space, you should hold your own funds, hold your private keys, buy a ledger, store your money there, be safe with your crypto. Don't fall for these exchange scams, and always, always, always keep most of your money in your own hands. You know, that was the idea of cryptocurrencies. We don't want banks holding our money. We want ourselves to be responsible for our money.